And now for something completely different.
Forget everything you've been told by others before. Get ready for the real deal, the full story. Real talk about money, markets, life. Now, it's The Real Investment Show, presented by RIA Advisors.
Well, it's that time again. Financial Fitness Friday. Welcome. Man, this week flew by. Rich Rosso, CFP. Jonathan McCarty, CFP, CFA, ICUP,
LMNOP.
MLNOP.
Good morning, Rich.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you. This week went by real fast. Very interesting week as we get closer to the election. The shenanigans are high and rising. Did you see Goldfish Crackers have now changed their name to Chilean Sea Bass?
Need to be more inclusive, yes.
Yeah.
Because goldfish are very divisive.
Are they?
Yeah.
Did you see what Hormel is going to call Spam now?
I have not.
Filet Mignon.
Yeah.
That's the new. We just should change the names of everything. Wait, this doesn't taste like sea bass. It tastes like a goldfish cracker.
Yep. I'm an Annie's guy myself, so I go for the Annie's cheese
I
crackers.
like the Annie stuff. Mm-hmm. But I would have liked to have been in the marketing department when we decided this brainstorm of, oh my God, this is brilliant.
Well, Swedish Fish was taken, so.
Man, those were good. You just get just nice breakfast of Swedish fish and candy corn. Mm-hmm. Will be good. Well, we've had sort of a dismal week. So it's interesting. You're starting to see investor sentiment start to peel away a little bit. So if you look at the American Association of Individual Investors, only 37.7% of respondents reported as bullish this week. That was 45.5% last week. So we are definitely in this euphoria that's starting to die down, which I think is actually very positive. So the bullish sentiment is at the lowest level in 6 months. So it's nice to see some of the heat come off markets.
Yeah.
Although Tesla was an absolute shocker yesterday. 22% increase in the share price for Mr. Musk. That's the best since 2013.
Massive jump.
Massive jump. So now Elon is worth $270 billion. That's according to Forbes. So he's now ahead of his good friend, board member Larry Ellison, by $58 billion. Yeah, once you have that many billions, you're just...
It's chump change.
Chump change. Yeah. So I guess I was shocked by the move.
I would say a lot of short sellers were feeling some pain yesterday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But futures are up this morning. So obviously, probably will have a negative week for the market. But overall, I think some of the heat needed to die down. It's good that sentiment's pulling back. We're starting to enter, we'll be entering a more favorable season for markets, November and December. Although we'll have to see what happens after the election, right? We're going to have to see. Do you ever look at Polymarkets?
I don't know.
You should. Polymarkets is an amazing. Anybody who bets on anything is at Polymarkets, right? So then, when you look at Polymarkets and you see the momentum that Trump has and where traders are, mm-hmm. right? I mean, you can bet on either side of a coin on Polymarkets. I mean, it's the largest sort of trading hub of where people are thinking, as far as gamblers and all that. So, you can see in the markets that there's this rotation to those sectors. So if Trump doesn't win, of course, and nobody knows, it's a very tight race.
Right.
We have to see an unwind of that. Plus,
massive, yeah.
Who knows how much contention there's going to be after. So I would expect some volatility.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting to see how the outcome for either party gets handled by the other party and how it bleeds into the volatility of markets if it does at all.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an election decided by lawsuits. I mean, both parties are kind of teeing that up already.
That's a good point. I mean, you would like to not think so, but we may really not know unless it's some sort of landslide by either side. And I think both sides can get pretty much contentious about it. So I care about, and that's what we care about, is how does that affect markets and what do markets do after that? So we have a little bit more cash on hand. We've taken some profits. We're not really buying anything. Bonds are way overdone as far as oversold. So we're waiting to see there. I know Lance had added some long duration bonds to his portfolios. It's just been a little frustrating. And I think that's good. I think we don't need a market that is just is pure perfection. It's like being out on the water and it's like glass, but you know a storm is coming, right? Mm-hmm. A little turbulence is good because it gives you entry points into certain stocks, into certain areas of the market. So, just got to keep you cool. What I've been doing for at least 2 weeks when I'm meeting with clients is setting expectations for next year. I'm doing something called goal scooping. So I'll tell you what that is. With a goal scoop, if I have someone that has set their goals, we're going to buy a car in 2 years. No, we're not. We're going to buy it. We're going to look this year. We're going to take the money that we've made on all these goals over the next 3 years. We've already hit our benchmark rate, so we always create our benchmark rate. What's our hurdle rate to hit the goals we need to make our plan work? We have way exceeded those rates. We understand that that could be temporary. Matter of fact, Goldman Sachs had this great report about, I know Lance talked about the expectations of markets over the next decade. Sooner or later, valuations matter. We have to include that in our financial plans to prepare clients accordingly. Right. We're not going to time it perfectly, but we do have to make sure that there's realism in these plans, not pessimism, not that ism, realism, and help people prepare, especially retirees who might be in for a frustrating experience, especially if they're taking distributions. So our goal is to create the most realistic plans possible to set your expectations accordingly. And if we're wrong, oh gosh, what does that mean? You got more money. So the goal scooping is I've got these goals. I've already funded 3 years of them. We're going to take that cash off the table. We're going to rebalance. We're going to put that money aside to know that we've done so well, right? Yep. So there's that management. That's a good thing.
I would agree.
There's an expenditure you need to make. I have clients that said, well, I do need to do some home renovations. Let's do it. We added it to the plan. It works. Let's take advantage of this, right? When markets are where they are and we can trim profits and hit the goals that we need, why not?
Especially in a year like this year where you're up double digits, that's a great time to be smart about taking those profits and putting them aside.
Right? But the plan will guide you to how to do it.
Yep.
What do I have to do to spend money? Or I would like to take my grandkids on this trip in December, Rich. Where you going? Send me some photos. All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but also housing affordability. The Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta does some of the best research ever on a lot of topics, and I use it a lot for our inflation forecasting, but they also have the Atlanta Fed's Home Ownership Affordability Monitor. We're going to talk about that when we get back. Stay tuned.
Get daily investment news you can use, delivered at the speed of the internet at realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show YouTube page has all of our videos ready for your easy access. From 3 minutes on markets and money to each day's radio shows like Technically Speaking Tuesday, Financial Fitness Friday, and the latest analysis from Lance Roberts and Michael Leibowitz. Subscribe and bookmark our YouTube channel for The Real Investment Show, or just click on the show links at realinvestmentadvice.com.
When it comes to wealth management, most people think of stocks and bonds, but it's like enjoying one layer in a 7-layer cake. At RIA Advisors, we want to make sure you get your cake and eat it too. Social Security, Medicare, creating a tax-friendly retirement paycheck. Perhaps you're saving for college. How about life insurance, guaranteed income solutions, all along with comprehensive planning? At RIA, a holistic approach to your money is our priority. Call us today, 855-RIA-PLAN, or find us online at realinvestmentadvice.com. realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
Small businesses are discovering that attracting and retaining top talent come down to more than just salary. In today's highly competitive job market, compensation is more than just wages. Hi, I'm Tom Allen, RIA Advisors Retirement Plan Consultant. Healthcare and retirement plans can make the difference in hiring and retaining the best employees. We can show you how to build an affordable, effective employment package that delivers true value for your workers and your business. Call me toll-free at 855-RIA-PLAN or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Medicare open enrollment is underway. If you need Medicare insurance coverage, RIA Advisors can help. Understanding Medicare choices, enrollment deadlines, and costs are essential to your overall standard of living in retirement. The wrong choices can cost you thousands in lost benefits and penalties. Make sense of Medicare's alphabet soup with RIA Advisors online resources and one-on-one partners to help secure the healthcare insurance choice that's right for your lifestyle and budget. Click on the Insurance tab at realinvestmentadvice.com today. realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
We're going to talk about housing in a minute, but on the other side of this coin is Saudi Arabia breaking ground on a $50 billion Mukab, the world's largest building. Think about this. It could hold 20 Empire State Buildings.
Wow.
It looks like a big Rubik's Cube. So 1,300 feet high, 1,200 feet wide. This is like the future of where they're going. Fine dining, retail, restaurant. This massive cube will be its own downtown in a box. 2 million square feet of floor space.
Well, they had to compete with the line that's being built. Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to stick out, is it?
Not at all, no.
Meanwhile, we're trying to figure out what's the kind of tiny home we can build, right?
You could get one for $15,000 now from Amazon.
So I do follow a company. They're really good at trends. In my book, 12 years ago, I wrote about how tiny homes would be the next thing. I just happened to come across a gentleman in Luling that would build tiny homes. Really, Texas tiny homes. He was one of the first that would use recycled materials. His name was Brad, and he's just a very unique character. And he sees the future of this 20 years ago. And I got fascinated with it. But these tiny homes, I don't know if you ever looked through any of the videos on Facebook or Instagram, but a lot of Gen Zs that are embracing this lifestyle. We don't need stuff. Unlike Gen X, millennials, baby boomers, right? I'm sure you all don't have. Do you all have a lot of stuff like maybe your parents?
No, we're more the experience over possessions kind of crowd. You know, my wife and I both. So we definitely bonded over that philosophy.
I think that's where my daughter is too. I mean, she likes certain things, little things, but for the most part, it's really about having the freedom to do where she wants, travel and all that. Right. But these are 400 square foot homes, and this is a trend. Now, people can laugh at this trend.
Well, Gen Z, that's about all they can afford these days.
Well, man, even those homes are not cheap. But what I'm saying is these sustainable designs, off-grid, even though I know that Mrs. McCarty will not live off-grid.
No, she will not.
The technological integrations, these tiny homes, even though they're maybe 400 square feet, when you look inside these miniature dwellings, you would be amazed about the technology that goes into them.
Yeah.
And how space is designed. So I watch these videos where it's really strange. Gen Zs or older boomers that decided to get rid of everything, that are living like Gen Zs.
Simplify.
Right, they're simplifying, but they're they like this and the fact that they go into live in these different areas and they have this ability to have a small footprint. They don't need a lot of stuff. So I think as especially Gen X, millennials, younger generations, most people are not getting married, right? We have marriages on the rocks. Isn't that a song? Marriage on the rocks. What a beautiful day. Except for that alimony that I have to pay. No children. So I think about younger generations in retirement that have no family. They need outside caregivers. So more of a communal retirement.
Yep.
Right? And you're starting to see that emerge in a lot of states, Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, actually Texas, some areas of Texas where they're building these communities. They have communal so none of these tiny homes have big kitchens or anything else. They may have small. They have one main area, dining, kitchen, much more of a communal living where everybody looks after each other. Mm-hmm. And I think that is going to be a big trend.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely got the potential to take off when you continue to see, declines in earning power for most of the younger generation right now. A lot of them struggling even just to get jobs out of college. I think that's causing a reevaluation of priorities.
Most Gen Zs, when they go and they're living in a space, we always wanted to live by ourselves, but they will find a nice place, rent rooms, and have this communal lifestyle, and they actually like it. My daughter always brings up living with somebody. Oh, my friend will live with me. I mean, like when I was her age, I'd be like, I don't want to live with anybody.
Well,
I don't want anybody in my space. Like she's like, okay. I mean, I see a lot of these Gen Zs that are much like that.
Yeah, I see. I think that's a part of the cultural aspect of being Gen Z, but it's also a part of the financial restrictions that a lot of them face.
It is.
So it's
a way to deal with it.
Right. Yeah. It's more of a way to overcome housing costs overall than a preference. I had roommates when I lived in Southern California. Would have loved to not, but I did. So it was more of out of necessity than desire. So I think maybe it's kind of a sour grapes situation for a lot of the younger generations. That this is what we want because really they don't have any other options.
Right. I mean, they are making do with it when I see in these videos, and they make it work. But that's why I like this Atlanta Home Ownership Affordability Monitor. So this tool, it's updated monthly. It tracks the emerging trends in home ownership affordability at the national, metro, and metro county levels, right? And it's really looking at if the median income household can afford to own a median priced home currently selling in the market, right? So if the median income household would need to spend more than 30% of its income to own the median priced home, then home ownership is considered unaffordable. If it is less than 30%, then home ownership is considered affordable. I will tell you the Atlanta, and I told Jonathan this off air, the Atlanta Fed does some of the best research. I don't think Jerome Powell goes near the Atlanta Fed research because then he would actually know what he's talking about. They have they're sending out Janet Yellen to tout the robustness of the economy. Isn't that like sending the captain of the Titanic to teach you how to steer a cruise liner?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So this housing affordability index, I think, is one of the best. So I looked at the October 2024 update. So we know this. We see it everywhere. Home ownership is unaffordable for the median income household nationally, right? So it's gotten a little bit better, but the income needed to afford the median price home stood at just under $120,000 in August, which was still near historic highs, right? And you need about roughly 42% of your income to make it work.
Yeah.
Right? So they have this, and what you might be interested in if you're listening, if your children are looking to buy a home or you're looking to move, you can go through a metro area, select your parameters, and see what the affordability looks like in that area. And it's a great tool. I think the research that they're doing on this is really, you look at taxes, obviously, property insurance, mortgage rates, median sales price, median household income, and then create the index. Now, I'll tell you, it's not at the worst levels it's been. That like in 2023, but it's still nowhere near the affordable level. But it seems to be trending in the right direction slowly, but nowhere near where it should be.
Yeah, I think that's, highlighting changes overall in the way people are budgeting for their household expenses. The New York Post put out an article recently. It talked about the death of the 50-30-20 rule.
Yeah.
Right? So anyone who's not familiar, it was popularized by actually Elizabeth Warren about using 50% of your assets for your needs, or 50% of your income for your needs, 30% for your wants, and then 20% for savings. And now, based off of changes in partly due to inflation, partly due to housing costs being a big driver of this, now they're saying, well, it's kind of more like the 60-30-10 is a little more accurate. And obviously that varies widely by demographic location. So individuals who are maybe in metropolitan areas, I know that when I lived in Southern California, I spent easily 50% of my take-home income on housing alone.
Yeah.
Not even counting the other needs that I had. So it's a challenging market, to say the least.
What I do like about this ability to work from anywhere in a lot of, with the pandemic, obviously there are a lot of companies that are saying you must be in the office 5 days a week. But what I do like is, because of the unaffordability, that I can possibly live somewhere more affordable and still make a living. The part is, you may not like where you're going to live.
Right.
I can show you. I'm on Zillow. I look at areas in Indiana, right? I look at areas in Texas. I look at areas in Tennessee. There's a woman I follow that she has affordable homes. She puts them on Facebook and all that. And these are older homes. And you can buy a house in certain areas of the country, like in Tennessee. These are nice homes. New York, wherever it is, upstate, for a $200,000 and have 2 to 3 acres. I could be in Vermont. I could be in Indiana. I could be in Texas. I could be in Tennessee. These houses are older. They are in good shape. They're maybe 1,500 square feet. I might get 5 acres, 6 acres. But
you live in
I
Tennessee.
look around that town and it's really quiet.
Yeah. Not appealing to the younger generation.
Why not? I am saying, we're going to talk about this when we get back. If you look for the houses, you will find them. We'll be right back.
The Real Investment Advice blog. It's required reading for the informed investor. Catch it today at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Medicare open enrollment is underway. If you need Medicare insurance coverage, RIA advisors can help. Understanding Medicare choices, enrollment deadlines, and costs are essential to your overall standard of living in retirement. The wrong choices can cost you thousands in lost benefits and penalties. Make sense of Medicare's alphabet soup with RIA advisors' online resources and one-on-one partners to help secure the healthcare insurance choice that's right for your lifestyle and budget. Click on the insurance tab at realinvestmentadvice.com today. realinvestmentadvice.com.
Hi, Lance Roberts here. If you're like most people, your 401k plan represents the bulk of your retirement assets. And unfortunately for many, managing your 401k plan can be difficult. There's so many choices, so many things to consider. With just a quick email, a couple of questions, you can put RIA advisors to work for you managing your 401k plan. Just simply click Ask a Question at realinvestmentadvice.com or give us a call at 855-RIA-PLAN. That's realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
And now, another page from the Real Investment Advisors Investing Manifesto. Manage risk and volatility rather than trying to manage gains. You don't have to be right all the time. Long-term investing success is a 70% gain. Let us help you reach your financial goals with RIA Advisors. Neither bull nor bear. RIA Advisors, 281-501-1791 or online at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Can't catch the whole show now? Listen to our podcast later at realinvestmentadvice.com.
And I've told you before about my dogs. They're 28 pounds. So I've got one that's half German Shorthair Pointer, half Terrier. The other is half Terrier, half Ashani.
The Real Investment Show podcast.
Little brown one. He is solid muscle. I mean, when he just sits still, his muscles are flexing and rippling right through his body. He's very muscular as a dog. Surprising me how strong that little dog is. So I now have new motivation at the gym.
Yeah. Same show, your schedule at realinvestmentadvice.com.
When I go to the gym, I have a picture of that dog because I want to look like him.
When it comes to wealth management, most people think of stocks and bonds, but it's like enjoying one layer in a 7-layer cake. At RIA Advisors, we want to make sure you get your cake and eat it too. Social Security, Medicare, creating a tax-friendly retirement paycheck. Perhaps you're saving for college. How about life insurance, guaranteed income solutions, all along with comprehensive planning. At RIA, a holistic approach to your money is our priority. Call us today, 855-RIA-PLAN, or find us online at realinvestmentadvice.com. Realinvestmentadvice.com.
Health and financial security touches everyone within your organization. Offering benefits for all doesn't need to be complicated. Hi, I'm Tom Allen, Senior Benefits Consultant at RIA Advisors. RIA Benefits provides independent expertise to find solutions that speak to the mission of your business, the culture you want to establish, and the budget you are able to work within. Book a free consultation with me at realinvestmentadvice.com/retirement, and we'll find a solution that takes care of your most important asset, your people. realinvestmentadvice.com/retirement, realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show YouTube channel has all our videos ready for your easy access, like Technically Speaking Tuesday, Financial Fitness Friday, and the latest analysis from Lance Roberts and Michael Leibowitz. Subscribe and bookmark our YouTube channel at realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
And welcome back. So, it's not only housing affordability, it's housing expectations. So I live in a neighborhood that's, most of it's built in the 60s and the 70s, right? Because I miss the 70s, and my house looks like the 70s. It's got a 70s style to it.
Shag carpet in the bathroom.
I would do that. And I would like that conversation pit in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah. But these old houses that this woman posts, sometimes she has time capsules. Like, this house has not been renovated since 1957. And it's selling in somewhere in Indiana, and it's $85,000.
Wow.
And I looked inside this house, and it is pristine. But it's 1957. The appliances look brand new. I mean, whoever lived here must have stood in the corner and never touched anything. Everything's original, and it's shocking to see how people sometimes live. She has houses from the 70s like that and the 80s that look brand new. But the point is, what I'm trying to say, there are affordable places to live. There are affordable houses. It's just that you do not want to live there, perhaps. It's not because they're ugly. Some of these places are gorgeous. Views of mountains, beautiful, beautiful fall, right? Beautiful little bookstore. I mean, it's got everything, but it's quiet, right? So my neighborhood, 70s, when I first moved in, I was the youngin'. There was nobody, like, as far as mostly older people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand older people pass away or whatever it might be, but it is amazing to see in the mornings, all the people walking in the streets, younger people with strollers and kids on bikes, like the whole neighborhood. And I think it's because the houses are about $300,000. I think it's because the houses are affordable in this little enclave that, but it's not the Loop, right? It's not the Loop.
Not trendy.
It's not trendy.
Yeah.
There's nothing trendy about it, which makes it trendy to me. I like it, right? Lots of trees, half an acre. I've got a lot of room. These houses have huge footprints, backyard and front yard.
Mm-hmm.
Mature trees, all of this, $300,000. You get yourself a house. So I see a lot of younger people that may have just gotten married or just had children. They're moving into the neighborhood. And I sort of like to see it. I like to drive around the neighborhood and see all these young kids on their bikes. And I don't know, it's just so different than it was 11, 12 years ago. And I think it's because of housing affordability that they're doing that. Now, do I have to drive longer to get to where I need to go? Sure. But on a hybrid schedule, I notice even now, and I noticed after the pandemic, I can go from one part of town to the other in 20 minutes. Unheard of. I understand traffic patterns are back, but they're nowhere where they were 10 to 12, 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even
where
2019.
it was mandatory, it would take me 2 hours to get to the Galleria.
Yeah.
I could do it any time of the day in 45 minutes. That sounds horrendous, especially to Gen Z. Like, my daughter never wants to get in the car. Like, she wants everything in where it is.
Walkable city.
Want a walkable city.
Yep.
And I get that. I want a bikeable, walkable city. That's fine.
You know what? It's because most of them have so much anxiety they can't handle driving.
They can't. They hate. You know how many, so Kathy Wood. So I've known Kathy Wood before she was Kathy Wood. And she would do these little presentations around town. Sometimes she'd come and I'd go sit. And she talked about how in 40 years, there probably won't be any real automobiles. She was talking about how they were building apartments. They're building apartments in LA. There are no parking spaces.
Yeah.
Because Gen Z, you know how many Gen Zs do not have licenses? Driver's license? You couldn't wait to get a driver's license. They don't want to drive.
16th birthday, I was at the DMV taking my test.
Yeah, but I'm saying 20-somethings,
not happening.
they don't find this having a car, or they don't, it's just so different.
Yeah.
They would live in a city and never own a car.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it used to be the symbol of freedom and independence. Having your own car, being able to go where you wanted to go.
I mean,
load up with your
his
friends.
1976 Ford Pinto, it took him everywhere. But as long as you don't get too close to the rear. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to blow them up. But I just think that, you have to respect the trends and what they are. And every generation had their little quirky thing, right? And it all works out at the end. So there is housing affordability. Not the housing affordability you want is there. But we're also going back to a time when I grew up. My grandparents owned a house in Levittown, New York. Okay, in Levittown in Long Island. That was after the war, right? They created all Levittown, right? It was all these affordable homes, 1,100, 1,200 square feet. You thought you were living in a mansion. That was the standard size of a home. If your home was 1,600 square feet, you were like living large. And then in the 80s, it all blew out. Right? All this opulence. I had to have all this square footage. The big house was the sign of that I've made it. That's an anomaly. Go look at pictures of middle-class families in the 50s. Look at the size of their homes. Right? So we're reverting back to that process. The home builders that can capture that. And I think some ways tiny home builders, but you're looking at major home builders now that are building homes that are 1,400 square feet.
Yeah.
Now, they're amazing how they engineer these homes. When you walk in, I stayed in one of these houses out in Atlanta. It was 800 square feet. And when I walked in there, I felt like I was in a house 3 times the size.
Really?
How, because your mind plays tricks on you.
Yeah.
Had a full bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, all that, right? Living room. But, wide open space, closet, places, shelving. I mean, it was built for storage. It had enough closet space. But I'm like, I cannot believe how big this. I said, wow, it's a nice house. Was it about 1,400 square feet? He goes, no, man, that's like 800. I'm like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, this is 800. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. And I do think that if you are interested in housing affordability, especially if you have kids and grandkids, this housing affordability tool is very, very helpful. But it's also very helpful to get perspective and go through different towns that you hear about. Go through Zillow and see. I found a place. So one of my idols is John Fusco, and I've managed to communicate with him quite a bit. But John wrote Young Guns and The Highwaymen. I don't know if you've seen The Highwaymen with Kevin Costner, right?
Yep.
Now, one of my friends, David Borden's in that movie. And he grew up in this small town in Vermont. They have a house for sale there in town. So when you open the street, it's this bucolic, small town Main Street, mountains in the background. Nice house. How much you think it is?
I would say probably 410.
$89,900.
What? You're kidding. That's some
See,
Mayberry
now,
living.
I could live like that. Mrs. McCarty can't live like that.
No, she cannot.
Amy Davis cannot live like that.
She needs a milk and honey close by.
I could live like Sonny's grocery store.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, I grew up in the city, but I am not a city person. Because every time I took off my pants, the F train would see my underwear. I didn't like that. Okay, I was that close to the train.
Well, that happens when you're in the train car, Rich.
I learned that in the morning, like the commuters, when to moon them. That was my morning.
It's the little things in life you get joy out of.
The train was that close to the apartment,
Yeah.
right? So I was able to moon the commuters in the morning. Hey, good morning. Yeah. So that's because I hated living there so much. Now everybody cannot wait. So I'm on my Facebook and I've got a lot of actor friends, Mickey Rourke and all these people. Oh, look, we're starting this new movie called Avenue U. And I'm like, that's my neighborhood that I couldn't wait to get out of, and you all are making a movie about the Avenue? It's Mickey Rourke, my friend Joe DeBarry, all these. Oh, yeah, it was this great new movie. Some of the Sopranos stars. I'm like, okay, talk about bad timing. I just should have stayed there.
It's full circle, Rich.
Now Brooklyn is the hottest place to live, right? Yep. And so maybe you shouldn't take any advice from me. So we will hopefully see housing affordability get better. It's going to have to. I mean, all these proposals, Harris's proposal, if I give you $25,000 for a house, what do you think is going to happen to home prices?
Of course they're going to go up. Yeah, that's common sense. I think a lot of these proposals that are being put forth, to me it seems a lot more of a pandering. In the final stretch here, they're just trying to garner any potential fence voters, people who haven't quite decided, oh, here's my policy. Let's see if that is enough to sway your decision. But the likelihood of getting something like that through both houses of Congress, I think, is non-existent.
Who wants to date? So it's all these little quaint cities with cheap houses may be nice, but it's young singles who are going to date in these places with no culture. Young people are not dating anymore. Young people don't get married. They don't have sex. They don't go.
They don't drink.
They don't drink.
Nope.
Why not live in these places? We'll be right back.
Can't you see that love is everywhere? Step into the confusion. Can't you hear the sound that's in the air? It's rock and roll. 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 It's rock and roll.
Get daily investment news you can use, delivered at the speed of the internet at realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show YouTube page has all of our videos ready for your easy access. From 3 minutes on markets and money to each day's radio shows like Technically Speaking Tuesday, Financial Fitness Friday, and the latest analysis from Lance Roberts and Michael Leibowitz. Subscribe and bookmark our YouTube channel for The Real Investment Show, or just click on the show links at realinvestmentadvice.com.
Small businesses are now being challenged by the lack of employees and how to attract and recruit the best employees. To get the better employee, you'll have to offer a better package. Hi, I'm Tom Allen, RIA Advisors Retirement Plan Consultant. Don't assume a 401k plan is too costly or complicated for your small business to offer. Let us show you how to make the most of an affordable and effective plan that will deliver true value for your business and your employees. Call me toll-free at 855-RIA-PLAN or online at realinvestmentadvice.com. That's realinvestmentadvice.com.
The Real Investment Show.
When it comes to wealth management, most people think of stocks and bonds, but it's like enjoying one layer in a 7-layer cake. At RIA Advisors, we want to make sure you get your cake and eat it too. Social Security, Medicare, creating a tax-friendly retirement paycheck. Perhaps you're saving for college. How about life insurance, guaranteed income solutions, all along with comprehensive planning? At RIA, a holistic approach to your money is our priority. Call us today, 855-RIA-PLAN, or find us online at realinvestmentadvice.com. realinvestmentadvice.com.
Medicare open enrollment is underway. If you need Medicare insurance coverage, RIA Advisors can help. Understanding Medicare choices, enrollment deadlines, and costs are essential to your overall standard of living in retirement. The wrong choices can cost you thousands in lost benefits and penalties. Make sense of Medicare's alphabet soup with RIA Advisors online resources and one-on-one partners to help secure the healthcare insurance choice that's right for your lifestyle and budget. Click on the insurance tab at realinvestmentadvice.com today. realinvestmentadvice.com.
You're listening to The Real Investment Show.
Everybody's having like tiny home fun. Tiny home dad jokes on the chat. Actually, they don't. Tiny homes don't have wheels a lot of times. They're sort of stationary. So I found this property near Independence, Texas. And it had about 7 or 8 tiny homes on it. And one main area where, and they would rent it out and all. But I'm like, there are families that might look to do this because I have grandma that needs a place, right? I have my kids. I could put my whole family on this development. And it wasn't really, relatively speaking, that expensive. And all the houses were done in this, they were really well done. Very well done. But then you had a bigger living area, like it had a living room in the middle, like in a bigger home, but it wasn't really even a home. It had a big kitchen, dining room area, living recreational area, but everybody had their own little tiny homes. Not all tiny homes have wheels, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, we thought of doing something similar.
Some do, but not all.
When my grandfather passed away, for my grandmother, because she didn't need a lot of space. And, now it was getting to the point where we were concerned about her living by herself. So that was a potential solution of just getting one of those tiny homes and putting it out on my parents' property.
Yeah.
So she could have her own space, but still be close to the family.
Yes. I'm looking at a whole bunch of tiny homes without wheels. Larry thinks that all tiny homes have to have wheels. I'd like to have tiny homes with wheels, though, so I can get the hell out of here.
I think he's confusing it with mobile homes.
Well, people have been turning... Have you seen the people that have taken school buses and have turned them into homes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And shipping
Or
containers.
little trailers? That whole shipping container thing? I'm sorry.
Never.
They have these modular companies that are now they can build you an apartment community in like less than a year.
Yeah.
And it's all these modular blocks. I mean, all these things look like barracks. I mean, the soul has definitely come out of like, why do you go to school to be in architecture? Just draw a box. I mean, I don't know.
And the corrugated steel look, on the side of those containers, that's not...
like all those townhomes, and they look like you're in prison.
Yeah.
People buy them. I guess because you need a place to live, right? I don't really care what it looks like, but I'm like, man, this would depress me coming home to this box
Yeah.
every day, right? That's why you look at those Sears catalogs from the 20s, and you could purchase a Craftsman home that would come in. You ever see those catalogs, Brent, that you could buy your home in the catalog? The end of the person who ran that department for Sears, for those Craftsman homes, only wanted the best of materials from top to bottom. Very meticulous.
Yeah.
That's why they're so well built today, right? So when they would get by rail, they would get everything you needed, and then Sears would actually have the builders there to get the home built. But he wanted the best molding, siding, everything for these houses to be durable. It was amazing to see like what those houses. I understand you got to take into account inflation, but when you see like $4,200 and what those homes are worth today because they were so well built.
Well, that goes back to your time capsule houses you were talking about earlier, and all these appliances from the 50s that still function.
It still work
because they were built well. They were built to last rather than planned obsolescence.
They have a meme that I think it's like a 1970s refrigerator. That avocado green.
Oh yeah,
this thing has gone through multiple generations and still running, or whatever the meme was. But it's still standing. Your grandparents are dead. Everybody's gone. And then in the 70s, I remember Grandma Ross going, "These are things are made of like a crap." What would she say today?
Oh man,
So it's just. I got to get you that name, YouTube Christians. It's called, her name is Michelle Bowers. For that, she has this website on these affordable homes. She does, it's Old Home Life for, I will get, yeah, it's called Old House Life. Michelle Bowers, Bowers. She's been on the Today Show and all of that, but you can follow her, and she finds these houses. It's called theoldhouselife.com, and she has these houses all over the country. Deals of the day, historic house listings, preservation projects she's doing, and she will show you. Move-in ready, circa 1923 in North Carolina. Pretty floors, $210,000. Old Hope Castle, greenhouses, huge barn. Circa 1970 in Georgia, $199,000. Some of these houses are beautiful, and they're so unique. It's just fascinating. I mean, I don't know. I've got this whole house fetish, I guess.
I love the architectural design of older houses, older
me
neighborhoods.
Too. Don't you?
Growing up in California, it was a lot of tract home neighborhoods, in Northern California where I grew up. So it's basically the same house, the same 4 different style of houses, alternating, by different colors.
She posted a house yesterday, circa 1935, $95,000 in Arkansas. It's really cute inside. You should see it. Old Tudor-style home, original hardwood floors, built-in cabinets in the living room, center island kitchen, bathroom fixtures on site, being sold. That is, it is a bit of a handyman special. But what I'm saying is the guts of this house are just beautiful.
It's got good bones.
It's got good bones, but the fireplace and the woodwork. If this house could talk, you'd listen to the stories.
Yeah.
Right. There's a new movie coming out with Tom Hanks and what's her name? Robin. She was also in Forrest Gump. Her? Robin Her? That's her. That's her. Yeah. But it's called Here is the name of the movie. But I think it's about people's lives through the eyes of the house. Mm-hmm. And how the house changes over time as they age, and it looks really fascinating. But I've always been, fascinated with these older homes. So that's definitely, if you want to check her out, theoldhouselife.com.
Robin Wright.
Huh?
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright. That's
also
wrong.
the
Thank you,
Princess
Brent.
Bride.
And that's not wrong. Princess Bride.
Yeah.
We know your favorite movie there, Brent. Yeah.
Still one of the best movies. Have you seen The Princess Bride?
I have not, no, but I'm sure my
Listen,
wife
get him
it's
out
on
of
her top
here.
5.
Man,
Yeah.
where have you been?
I lived under a rock for a little while, guys. Sorry about that.
It's
Yeah.
timeless. So damn funny.
Classic.
I'm sure somebody will find it inappropriate. What would he used to say to the little guy? What was his thing? Inconceivable.
You know, I'll take that over unprecedented at this point.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, great film. So, 2025, Social Security, COLA. People are going to be disappointed, right? 2.5%. These big COLA days are over, right? And if you're paying taxes, your FICA wage base, that's going to increase from $168,000 to $176,100 in 2025, right? To fix Social Security, someone along the line is going to have to fix it.
Yep.
I don't know who's going to fix it. Elon?
I don't think it's going to be either of the
I'll
two
build
people
these
running.
tiny homes in space.
Yeah. We're going to colonize Mars, guys.
Yes. I wouldn't put it past him. Right? So we're going to see eventually that I think payroll tax, you're going to have to take these wage-based things off.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way. In other words, I understand. I don't hate. I used to say paying taxes was my thing, right? I think it's my patriotic duty. Now it makes me want to puke because I know where the money's going.
Well, yeah, when you start looking at where the spending is going and the gross misuse of the funds.
Then you start going. But I know at least where the wage base is going to, where this FICA is going, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Social Security is something we absolutely need.
Yeah.
So eventually we're going to have to see that this wage indexing that they're doing is going to change.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's going to do that. And we'll have to see. So 2.5% for next year, which will probably be eaten up by your increase in your Medicare Part B.
Yeah, it's funny how that inflation data came down just in time for COLA calculations. It's amazing how that happens. But I'm still banking on the potential of Trump floating that he wants to eliminate taxation of Social Security. I mean, that would be huge.
Well,
for a lot of our
there's a
clients.
point. I can't remember when, before the big legislation for Social Security. Social Security income in the 70s and 80s, that wasn't taxed. Because why would I be taxed on my Social Security income?
Yeah. Money you already paid as taxes.
Why am I doing that? So, yeah. I think next year is going to be pretty interesting, don't you? Larry Smith he is like the Shecky Green of tiny home jokes. Yeah. Someone I don't know what he's putting in his coffee this morning, but I
On a
want
roll.
some of it.
I think he's the Shecky Green of our chat window.
He really is. Shecky Smith, we're going to start calling him. Yep. That's about it, folks. Lance back on Monday. Hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for being with us today. I think Danny's back from killing whatever he's doing.
Everything in sight.
Water buffalo or whatever. I think he's back next week. Talk to you later.